Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this from the Blaze. MEganRapinoe pens essay saying banning biological males from women's sports is discrimination. They need to be allowed to play. Well, this is the second time I'm doing this, because the first time, as I was completing the entire video, well, more or less 70% done, my power goes out. And I swear to God, I did not fart in the general direction of the light pole, the electricity pole. The goddamn fucking electricity in this goddamn fucking shithole has the quality of a 19th century electricity grid. And even then, the 19th century electricity grid, it was built by a bunch of troglodytes. I was going to say a certain animal, but I'm afraid they are going to interpret it as racist. But they are all built by troglodytes, and any little wind, no, not even wind, is enough to actually make the power go down. It's goddamn windless, it's sunny as fuck, there's nothing, and the power goes out. The power goes out. And then you look at the light pole. What's that? The power goes out. I think the electricity grid in this goddamn filthy shithole is a feminist or an SJW, because the only thing that makes you only need to look at it or fart or even say, what's that thing over there? And the power goes out. It gets triggered and the power goes out. It shits itself out. Yeah, that's how bad it is. Oh, anyway, ranting for 2 minutes or so about the power on this goddamn filthy shithole is a lot. So, let's go on. Sports have become another avenue to attack the rights of trans people. No, not really. Look, I'm gonna go on at the, 2-minute mark or so of my video and say it again. I wholeheartedly support the rights of transgender people. I support your right to take hormones, I support your right to adopt, I support your right to vote, I support your right to even own guns to defend yourself. I even support 100% your right to go to the bathroom of the gender that you addressed with. But remember, what I do not support much of the right of is, well, not rights, well, maybe, but no, even then they still have the rights, but I don't think it's a good idea for them to adopt kids. I'm talking about genders, as in people with an actual mental illness that needs to be pondered with. Not the mental illness, I'm not talking about transgenderism, which is, in my opinion, still a mental discomfort or a dysphoria. It is an illness, and one of its treatments is to transition so you look more like the gender your brain identifies with, but that's something else. But what I'm talking about, the disease, as in it needs to be visual signaling. It needs the disease that the person identifies, the person needs it to be popular. It is popular, or that it needs visual signaling points, and since the person has nothing substantial over his personality, his or his personality, and it needs to be it needs transitioning so the person becomes more I don't know, more valuable, or he feels better. Those individuals I do not like. It's called genders, and we saw quite a few of those. They're mostly Reddit moderators, admins on Steam forums and things like that. These type of people whose personality all revolves around in being transgender. That's it. Those types of genders I do not like. I still support their rights. I still defend their rights. But I'm also a bit on those cases. I'm a bit on the questionable area of should they be going to female bathrooms? Those are the only part of the transgender community where I go, maybe they are right, maybe they are not. I don't know. But transgenders like Blair White or other transgenders to actually make the effort of transitioning, those go to the bathroom of your choice. Anyway, Going on, but based on the article, look, males, no matter what, no matter the hormones you take, you're still going to have a huge advantage over the females. There's no ifs, no buts, no anything at all. It's what it is. It's biology. There's no way of changing it. You can go through surgery, you can make the visual cues that one would use to identify a male and female disappear and be more of a female, but unfortunately there's not much you can do. It's just a biology. For instance, height, more muscles, those things cannot be changed easily, especially the muscles bit. And easily, I mean, you cannot change your height easily. You can try growing up, but it's painful because it means as soon as the bone structure is formed on the bone itself, you need to break it apart and stretch it, and then let the bone heal itself again, and then break it apart. And that's how people below height end up growing, as in going through surgery and medical treatment. That's how they do it. And on their cases, it's painful. It's a very, very painful treatment that in many situations they end up canceling because of the pain it produces. And for instance, 2 meter tall trans woman, it's just not going to be a good idea on sports. But Megan, if you allow them to go on and play, woman like you, biological woman who does not have any of those advantages, will be phased out in preference of trans women on the sports, because they are simply faster, they are definitely much more agile, they have more dexterity, they are definitely doing all of those things that men are for. Men are definitely stronger. It's just a fact. It's a biological fact. We are definitely much stronger, much faster, and we do all of those things that women cannot do. I'm sorry, it's just biological fact. And you are actually affecting many young little ladies, young women, who would use, for instance, okay, back again, down to the camera, who would use sports to get some financial help for their college or things like that. I forgot the exact name. Scholarship, there you go. Who get scholarships. They will use sports to get that, and now they are not going to be qualified because some transgender woman or a man gender took their place. And there's no amount of training. They could train 24 hours, 7 days a week. They will still not stand or be able to surpass a trans woman who barely even trains. I am sorry, but this is just not something that I can advocate for. Maybe create a different sports category for them. Maybe they have to stay still on the male, competing against the males, because after all, their biological advantage will then be comparing and fighting off against other biological males. Maybe they won't have a certain advantage because of the testosterone that they need to cut, so they can still look female, while males still produce testosterone, and that gives an advantage. But I am sorry, it's just not going to happen, Megan. It's just not a good idea. You're definitely destroying the dreams of multiple women, multiple little girls who dream of doing an athlete, being exactly where you are right now. I'm sorry, it's just not a good idea. I imagine if I ever become a father and I have a little girl, I'll be crushed if my little girl ends up being disqualified because of a man gender took her place. I'll be outraged, because how am I going to tell a little girl, look, hello little Nancy, I'm sorry, but you're just not as good as a male. And I am sorry, but the little boy, little Bob over there, who is now Bobina, a little Bobina Frufina, it's just what it is. It's just faster. She is just faster because she was born a boy, and you're just inferior. There we go. How am I I going to tell that? Anyway, in a Sunday op-ed, of course it has to be Washington Post, because where else? Rapinoe, an outspoken advocate for the alphabet community, says that transgender women, biological males who consider themselves to be female, should not be excluded from women's sports. As such, transgender men, she adds, ought to be permitted in men's sports. Blasting the 25 states seeking to enact laws prohibiting transgender players from participating in sports of their chosen gender, Rapinoe wrote, "The bills are some of the most intense political assaults on alphabet people in recent years. Sports have become another avenue to attack the rights of trans people. These efforts cause incredible harm to trans youth who, like all kids in the global pandemic, are feeling isolated and need compassion and support." Even before the pandemic hit, 1 in 3 transgender youth reported attempting suicide, as one of the National Crisis Prevention Organization reported in 2019. Look, the reason why they are killing themselves is not because of the sports, it's because it's a very difficult disease to treat with. Transgenderism is not easy, it's not something it's easily treated. We need a lot of psychological help, and most of the cases, the help that gives ends up not helping at all, and in fact ends up causing even more problems. For instance, a fall vagina is definitely not even close to the real thing. And you need to go through painful treatments every single day to actually treat it. In most situations, it's actually kind of disgusting. And the amount of stuff that it needs to be done to keep up that open wound for all your life. Sorry, it's not something that I think it's a good idea. Anyway, such bills, she explained, are only trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. The problem is there, you're advocating for a problem, I'm sorry. Anyway, proponents of these bills argue that they are protecting women. They are. Rapinoe continued, "As a woman who has played sports my whole life, you'll be phased out. I know that the threats to women's and girls' sports are lack of funding, resources and media coverage, sexual harassment and equal pay. Look, if your sports is popular, you're gonna earn way more than a male. But since you're not as popular as a male sports, you're gonna earn less. For instance, one example that Team Pool likes to use a lot, and I have to agree, is tennis players. I do not know any name of a male tennis player out of my mind, but I know, and at least I recognize the names when I see it, who it is. The female tennis players. I actually suck at names, so do not quote me on this. But there's a very popular black female tennis player who is an amazing player. Oh, Maria Sharapova. Now that's one. It's a hot one. I think that's her name, but either way, she's hot as fuck. And that's popular. Bale! No, Garo, no. Something like that. See, that's the thing that generates money and funding. I am sorry, but putting trans women on female sports is just not a very good idea. You are definitely harming the sports. And imagine, Megan, if you were fighting or competing against a trans woman during your earlier years, and that trans woman took your place because she's definitely better by doing nearly half or even half of what you do to get good at your sports. Imagine that. What would you do? What would you do, Megan? Would you give up? Would you train more? Well, if you train more, you're still not going to be able to surpass that trans woman. So what are you going to do? Give up? Well, definitely. She pointed out that transgenders, adults can't present that we care about well-being of children while actively creating environments that cause serious harm to them. You are doing that, you're advocating for that. Rapinoe added, we can't make demands for a false sense of fairness while ignoring the actual needs of women and girls. She pointed out that transgender children deserve equal chances to enjoy playing on sports teams, no matter their gender. Sure, I agree, but you need to be aware that there is a very large difference between male and female. Transgender kids deserve the same chances to enjoy sports, to gain confidence and self-respect and leadership skills, and to learn what it means to be part of a team. The soccer star insisted, when we tell transgender girls that they can't play girl sports or transgender boys that they can't play boy sports, they miss out on these important experiences and opportunities. And we lose the right to say we care about children. I am sorry, you lose the right to care about children when you start advocating for things like this. Because you are technically and effectively advocating that women are definitely inferior to men, and thus and therefore that the scholarship should go to a trans woman, because they definitely will take that scholarship over a girl who actually did everything right to advance her sports career. I'm sorry, this is just not right. She concluded, discrimination hurts everyone. We are stronger as teams and as a country. When people who love sports have a chance to have their lives changed for the better, just like I did. I am sorry, you wouldn't have any of that if you were facing a trans woman. I want every transgender kid out there to know that they can live their dream and be true to whom they are. For them to realize those dreams, they need to be allowed to play. I am sorry, create a new section on sports for transgender people to play among themselves or things like that. I think that's probably the best alternative, because quite frankly, you're just putting out men who even no amount of hormones is going to change. I'm pretty sure that let's face it, Arnold Schwarzenegger, in his prime years, if you put him to go with progesterone and other female hormones and cut the testosterone, start looking like a woman, very butch and manly woman, you would still be able to overtake and still be better off than you will ever be, MEganRapinoe. He would actually and actively win you at every single turn, and even then, even doing not even half of the training you go on, he would still win. That's called biological advantage, because we males, when we evolved as a part of the human species, mankind, when it was still in its infancy, males were the ones who went out hunting. We still hold certain advantages and certain things for back then when we hunted. For instance, when we change our channels. On TV, women like to change and stay there and look. Is this something I wanna watch? I wonder what this person's going to say next. Or things like that. They'll stay there much longer. We men just change the channels. No, that one. That's how fast we do it. Or for instance, we have better depth perception and more environmental awareness. That's why we can parallel park better than women. I am sorry, it's just facts. For instance, a physical ability, like I just explained the entire video. It's because we still are better. We have evolved for certain things as a species, and we still do it. And we still have that advantage. The only thing we could probably advocate for is if we all became a group, an agender gray humanoid thing with big large eyes with no nose. No gender or anything like that. Everything is smooth like a Ken doll. Or a Barbie doll. No, Barbie still has boobs. But like a Ken doll. Then definitely we're gonna look like aliens. That's probably the only solution you'll have for getting men and women to play in the same sport. I'm sorry, Megan. I'm sorry you are wrong. There's just no other way out of it. Anyway, if you like that type of content that you see here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because that helps. Especially commenting. Commenting also helps on the algorithm, because YouTube, fuck you, YouTube absolutely hates everybody, especially those with different political persuasion. Anyway, if you want to like spicy content, head to bitchute.com/DrJester or minds.com/DrJester for spicy content. Very spicy and very giggity goo content. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and have a very, very good night.